Hello everybody, we are back live again today from the Coastal Seafoods Test Kitchen. And we've got some cool stuff to go over. And yeah, so I'm going to give you a few minutes to tune in, give you a few minutes to hit that share button, let your friends know that we're live. We're both on Instagram and we're on Facebook. And we're going to cook some really awesome shrimp here in a few minutes. I'm going to kind of walk you through that, show you some kind of tips and ideas on what you can do to kind of get the most bang for your buck out of your shrimp. There's a few little things that you can do. A few housekeeping items this week. The shrimp. We have our beautiful Del Pacifico shrimp on feature for $13.99 a pound, so definitely come on in, check those out. They're awesome, and we'll talk a little bit about those in a minute. We've also got the beautiful Ora King salmon that everybody knows and loves, the stuff that is absolutely perfect for sashimi. It's basically the Wagyu of salmon. It's beautiful stuff, and we've got that on sale for $21.99 a pound. If you've ever taken one of our sushi classes, you've gotten to know and love it. The stuff is really, really amazing, super delicious. So come on in, check that out. We've also got all kinds of other things. We've got some beautiful whole fish in the case today. I don't know if maybe you saw the post that we put up a little bit ago of Fishmonger Nathan. Got a really beautiful Dorade and a Pompano, and they're all making weird fish faces at each other, which is pretty great. So yeah, definitely check that out. And again, you know, Thursdays, 20% off whole fish and salmon. So it's a great day to come in and check it out. You can get that Ora King a little bit cheaper. Just beautiful stuff. And yeah, so tons of cool things coming up. Tonight is actually our last class here at Coastal Seafoods for the year. But we are working on the new class schedule coming up. We've had a lot of questions about classes. Everybody's noticed that there's none posted right now. However, I'm hoping by the end of the week, beginning next week, we will have classes scheduled through next March. So pay attention to that, because you're going to want to sign up fast. They go quick. They make great gifts. So it's always a ton of fun, and we'll have those coming. We'll also have our garage sale coming up next weekend, our little small business Saturday event, which should be a lot of fun. It'll be at both locations, both Minneapolis and St. Paul. We'll have all kinds of great deals on full cases of frozen seafood. We've got an event page up for that, so definitely check that out for more details. Or hit us up with questions if you have any. We're always happy to answer those. So, hold on, looks like we went dark here on Instagram a little bit. Let me see if I can fix that. There we go. We're back. I don't know what happened. So yeah, let's cook some shrimp. Right now I've got my pan that's been getting hot here. Really, it's kind of important. You want to have a good hot pan, because what we want to do is we've got these really, really beautiful Del Pacifico shrimp. This is a what they call a 15. So there are about 15 of these per pound. So it's a nice, big, hearty shrimp. And these are a shell on. Now, we get a lot of questions about cooking shrimp shell on. People seem to be a little bit hesitant to it. Now, this is what you would call an easy peel. It's split down the back, so the shell is already cut and it's been deveined. Now, you can do this to any shrimp. Some of them come easy peel already. They're already split and ready to go. You can just throw them in the pan, shell on just like this. If they're not, all you have to do is take a little paring knife and go right down the back of the shrimp. Very easy to do, just cut right through the shell and just into the meat of the shrimp, and you'll be able to pull that vein out and you'll have an easy peel shrimp that's really ready to go. And when cooking shrimp at home, if you really want to get that good shrimp flavor, leave the shell on. It's kind of the same thing as cooking chicken on a bone. That shell is going to impart a lot of extra flavor back into the shrimp, and you want to keep that there. You don't want to get rid of it. So keeping it on like this is a great way to go, and it's very, very easy. So all we're going to do is we're going to add a little vegetable oil to our pan that's been here heating up. And I'm just going to add these shrimp. Let's see what we're doing here. We're going to get a little bit hotter yet, because we want, when that shrimp hits the pan, you really want to hear that nice sizzle and that crackle. Because again, we want to kind of caramelize those shells. that heat from the shell is going to really intensify the flavor, and it's going to really impart that onto the shrimp, which again is really, really, really what you're looking for. So again, I've got this oil pretty hot here. You can hear as I put that shrimp down, we're going to get that seasoning. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay them all down sort of in a clockwise direction, because then I'll know when to flip them and what order to flip them in. And you want to lay them down facing away from you, because again, you don't want to get splattered with the oil. I did dry these pretty well to help cut down on that water and that splatter a bit. It's always important if you're trying to sear anything to really make sure that it's dry. Any moisture is going to kind of steam it, and it's not going to let it sear as well. So again, these are good and dry, and I'm just going to kind of leave them there like this for a minute. Not going to touch them, not going to do a lot with them. I'll hit them with a little bit of salt. You know, just a touch here. And I'm going to let them kind of do their thing for a minute. Again, what I want is some really good caramelization to develop on that shell, and some browning. I want it to get crispy. We are going to remove the shells, but still, you want that flavor to cook up into the shrimp. So we're going to kind of let that go. And it doesn't take long. I mean, even though these are big shrimp, they're already starting to get kind of nice and golden brown, which is exactly what we're looking for. It's really, really nice. It smells super great in here already. These are actually a Mexican blue shrimp, again, from Del Pacifico. Really, really, really beautiful, very high quality shrimp, and also very, very sustainable. These are the only fair trade certified shrimp in the world, which is very, very cool. Not a lot of seafood is actually eligible for fair trade certification. I believe there's only like 4 species that are even eligible, and this is the only shrimp. So very, very cool. We're very, very proud to be able to carry this, and that shrimp smell from those shells just permeating the room. It's awesome. But these are all caught by individual angler-operated boats. So it's one angler per one small boat, and they go out with a net, and they net about 100 pounds on average per day, which they then bring back to their local co-op, where they're processed, frozen, and then sent to us. So really nice. It's only a once frozen shrimp, which means it retains a lot of its natural flavors. Really, really, really high quality. And you get that real, true wild-caught shrimp flavor. So this is a wild-caught shrimp. And we're getting nice and kind of golden here. I'm just checking it. I'm going to give it another minute or so before I flip it. And then once I do that, I'm going to add my seasoning to this, which we're not going to add a whole lot to, because frankly we want to keep the purity of the shrimp mostly intact. It's such a beautiful shrimp as it is. We don't want to go doing a whole lot to it and covering up all that natural sweetness in there. So these are a really sweet shrimp. Just absolutely beautiful, beautiful flavor. The nice thing too about cooking shrimp like this with the shell on that have been split down the back, or cooking easy peeled, is that you can actually see inside the shrimp to where it's at. So again, basically we want to cook it just like any other shrimp to where it changes color like this all the way through. But again, as you can see, I can see this half is still kind of raw here, whereas this other half is pretty well cooked. So it gives you a good like window into that shrimp and when to flip. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to flip these, because we are pretty much there. You can see it's this beautiful golden color. Again, exactly what I'm looking for. Keeping the shell on also helps protect the shrimp from overcooking, which is nice. Gives you just that added kind of layer of protection. I'm going to go ahead and flip these. I'm going to turn my heat down just a little bit, because what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add in some fresh garlic, just for a little flavor. And I don't want my garlic to burn, so I'm just going to add, clove or two worth to this. And I'm also going to hit it with a little classic Old Bay seasoning. You could use anything you wanted. You could use like a Creole type seasoning. That would be completely fine. But just, a tablespoon or two of this. Really, really nice. And now it really is starting to smell good in here. So I'm just going to kind of swirl that around a little bit. I'm going to let those bottom sides just cook through. Again, we don't want to overcook these. We want just that garlic to just start to give off its flavor and lose some of its rawness. We want that Old Bay to kind of toast a little bit. It's also going to infuse the oil that's in there, so it's going to be a little bit, it's going to kind of serve as our sauce almost for this. So really, really nice stuff. You can just absolutely smell it. Super beautiful. And we're looking like we're basically done here. You can see, let me show you inside the shrimp here. You can see, let's see, zoom in, that it's nice and white throughout. It's not opaque or gray anymore. So this is exactly what we're looking for here. So this is a perfectly done shrimp. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give this a little bit of a toss and sort of get everything good and coated in the spice and that oil. And then I'm just going to put this out onto a platter here. And we've got ourselves a very, 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 very nice little shrimp dish. This would be perfect with like just a side of rice or some pasta. Very, very simple to do. Again, you saw me do this all completely in real time. So very easy. Let's show you what we're looking at here. Just this really beautiful shrimp there. Super gorgeous. Really easy. That couldn't have been easier to do. You know, it took all of 5 minutes total, not even. We're basically looking just a couple minutes per side, and you get this beautiful shrimp. And again, it is shell on, which we want. For those of you just turning in, this is all about cooking the shell on shrimp to get more flavor from your shrimp. And once you let these cool down a little bit, because they're going to be hot coming out of the hot oil, obviously, so give it a second to kind of cool down. I'm going to use my asbestos fingers here and kind of show you how easy this is. Because now that this shell is all nice and crispy, it's going to peel away really, really easy and basically in one sort of fluid motion here. So that's what we're looking for. Comes right on off, very, very simple. And now you've got a really beautiful shrimp. Definitely cannot recommend cooking shrimp in the shells enough. You're just going to get that much more flavor. Looks like we got Facebook questions here. We got some people saying some stuff. Uh-oh, making people hungry. Sorry. It's the job. It's the job. They pay me to make people hungry. But you definitely check these shrimp out. They're so, 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 so good. And it's so easy to make. Again, really, really simple. Yeah, shell's cooled down a bit. So now I'm left with just this really beautiful shrimp here. Perfectly clean, perfectly ready to go. Just absolutely awesome. Take a little piece. Perfectly cooked because it's got that shell on the outside, which again helps protect it from the heat a little bit. Just super good. Cannot recommend these shrimp enough. And again, they're on special this week for $13.99 a pound, so great deal. Come on in, check them out, ask our fishmongers about them. We've also, of course, got the Ora King, which I mentioned at the beginning. One of the best salmons you will ever have. Super, super good. That's $21.99 a pound. Looks like maybe we've got some Instagram questions. What fish would you suggest for Thanksgiving? Depends on what you want to do. I mean, obviously you've got your East Coast classics, things like oyster stuffing. Oysters are a great Thanksgiving addition. Not something you see a lot here in the Midwest, which is a shame, which really should kind of work to adopt that tradition a little bit. Oysters, absolutely delicious, super sustainable. You can use the nice pre-shucked, little goes a long way. Chop them up, throw them into your stuffing. Just adds a nice depth of flavor to it. Otherwise, a beautiful salmon fillet is always a great way to go. Just roast it off and serve it with like a simple sauce. You could do just kind of a simple dill, cucumber, sour cream kind of thing, or yogurt also works. Just a nice accompaniment and something a little bit different to have on the table for Thanksgiving. Highly recommend. And if you wanted to really do it, you could get the Ora King, which is on feature, and have it just, again, top shelf, world-renowned salmon, just super fatty, super lush. Just, again, throw it in the oven at high heat for Doesn't take too long. You want to actually, with the Ora King in particular, you want to try to keep that like a nice medium rare to medium, because it's a sashimi grade fish, one, and you want to keep that natural sort of salmon texture intact. It's just really, really good. So again, salmon, oysters are great. You could certainly do some clams. Clams are always nice. Just a big pan of steamed clams, dump it into a bowl. That would actually be a fairly traditional thing. Again, probably another big East Coast thing. Definitely worth doing. Yeah, I don't know. There's lots of different things that you really could do. There's no reason that you shouldn't have more seafood on your Thanksgiving, as part of your Thanksgiving offerings. There's just so many different options and things that you could do. Crab cakes, you could make little like crab cake fritters. You just roll them into little kind of like meatballs and fry them and serve them like that. It'd be really nice too. Snow crab, king crab, that sort of thing. You could do like a little shellfish platter that you could put out. That would be really, really nice. Really help up that game a lot. So yeah, lots of cool stuff that you could do. And I recommend you do try. There's no reason to always have to do the same things year in and year out. Switch it up, try something different. Maybe you'll start a new tradition, which is always cool. So yeah. So in addition to all the specials, sales, shrimps, salmons, all that stuff we got going on, again, I did mention that next weekend on Saturday, so that's the Saturday after Thanksgiving, we're doing our big garage sale, which is going to be a ton of fun. Both locations. It is all whole cases of seafood, so it's kind of a bulk buy sort of thing. If you've been to these before, you know what they're like, you know it's a good deal, you know it's fun. And you come in and basically you get a really good deal on a full case of frozen seafood, which is perfect if you're looking to stock up your freezer for the upcoming holidays and things like that. Come in now, you can get a bunch of like bags of shrimp that you can throw in your freezer to just have on hand. Pull them out, you can defrost them very, very quickly. Just really nice to have on hand if you're going to be having people around. Obviously makes a quick, simple party platter. Really awesome party platters. We also have party platters. To talk about things that would be perfect for Thanksgiving, you can absolutely call us, place an order for a poached salmon tray. We do those still. We've got our shrimp platters that we can do. And all you got to do is call ahead, place an order. 48-hour notice on the platters. So call a couple days ahead, place your order, we'll have it ready for you to pick up. And then you just come, pick it up, bring it home, and it's ready to go and serve. The shrimp platters come with a cocktail sauce. The poached salmon platters come with our tartar sauce. So really just perfect to put on the plate. A nice chilled poached salmon platter is very, very nice. And a lot of people do that for the holidays, but for those of you who have maybe not done that before, that is a thing that we offer. Looks like we've got some more Facebook stuff here. Do these shrimp come deterred? Oh, nice, nice. So we've got two versions. We've got a bag in our freezer case. It's a 12-ounce bag, and those are the true easy peels, so they're already split and cleaned for you. But then we have in our actual case, we've got the whole shrimp, which just have the full shell on, so they are not cleaned yet. But again, very easy to do. Like we kind of went over this a little bit at the top of this week's episode, I guess. All you have to do is take a knife, split it down the back, split that shell open, and then the vein that runs down the back is right there, and you can just pull it right out. Very easy to do. It takes, 10 seconds to do maybe, and very, very worth it. Again, getting the shrimp whole, shell on, is where the flavor is. So it's what you really want to do. There's a lot of misconceptions that there's the extra work to do because you have to clean them and whatever. But really, it doesn't take long. And what you get in return when you do it that way is just a much more flavorful, much more enjoyable shrimp. So I cannot recommend doing that enough. Really, really good. It's totally okay. We get all kinds of questions, and you can phrase it however you like. We can handle it. But definitely worth doing. I stress this in all of our classes. Wherever you can get flavor from, get it. It's free flavor, leaving that shell on. And I know everybody wants to go for the peeled and deveined, and a lot of times they just get the pre-cooked. But if you get raw, shell on, and you poach them, like if you're making your own shrimp platter at home, you're just gonna get so much more flavor. You get such a more enjoyable shrimp overall. And again, for a shrimp platter at home, you can get the raw, shell on, poach them in your poaching liquid, throw them into an ice bath, shock them so they cool. Then they're very, very easy to peel, and you can make your own really beautiful shrimp platter with shrimp that is way more flavorful than you will ever get from a store. So worth doing. It is really worth doing. Does not take that much extra time. I know a lot of times for the holidays we're looking for ways to kind of, cut corners and shave some time off of our process. But there are certain things that it's worth taking the extra time for, and shrimp is absolutely one of them. So highly recommend. At least try it once. You'll notice the difference right away. So again, Del Pacifico shrimp on feature this week, Ora King on feature this week, garage sale next week. Very cool. We'll also probably have some other things to announce next week, so pay very close attention. We've got some game changer stuff coming up that I think you're all going to be very, very, very happy about. Some long time coming stuff that we've been planning and working on, and we'll have that announcement shortly. What day does the seafood crate discount start? So I'm guessing you're talking about the garage sale, the whole cases of seafood, and that's next Saturday. So that is Saturday the 30th. And we'll have some fun stuff going on. So there's a Facebook event page up for that, so you can check it, you can mark your calendar. And you should. If you have not been to the garage sale, again, it's worth coming out. It's a good opportunity to stock up that freezer for the upcoming holiday season, just to have stuff on hand, ready to go. Again, you can get some shrimp, you get some, we usually have some lobster tails that you can get. We've got cases of king crab, all kinds of cool stuff. So definitely keep a lookout for that. Cool. Yeah. Otherwise, if you have any other questions, you can always reach me either through our Instagram messages, Facebook messages. You can call the store and talk to one of the mongers. They will happily walk you through some of this stuff. Whatever you got, throw it at us, and we will help you out the best we can. But for now, we're going to wrap up, and we won't see you next week because, again, next week is the holiday. But we'll be back again the following week with a lot more stuff. And again, pay attention over the next few days. We'll have some big announcements coming up, so watch closely for that. And if you want party platters for your holiday parties, call us 2 days notice. We'll get it ready for you and you can come pick it up. Otherwise, we will see you next week. Have a good weekend. Talk to you all soon.